there's so many ideas I want to share with the audience, you know?
Well, in the... It's all good.
Like in the middle.
It's all good.
Just sitting right next to a toilet. Don't worry about it. It was a number one.
So we're near a bathroom.
Make sure you wash your hands.
What's up, guys? This is Jason Lipschutz. I'm here at Electric Lady with the one and only Labrinth. Lab, what's going on, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I am so excited about your new album, Ends and Begins. Congrats on it. How's it been?
I think it's always exciting to just put a piece of work out there and then I don't even look at it. I don't check it. I'm just like, I kind of have a moment to listen back to it and just enjoy it. So I did that the other day. And I was like, oh, this album's actually good.
I love this!
You like it?
Yeah, it makes me sleepy.
Makes you sleepy? That's
Yeah.
good.
How long was this process for this one?
I actually wrote the record in like a year, and then there was just so many things behind the scenes that kind of prevented it from seeing the light of day. I think it was good that it happened though. At the time I was like, you know, like losing my shit. And then once we kind of got up to Coachella, it felt like the best time like for me to release this record, because it was like a celebration, you know? And that was the gift that came at the end of it.
I'm saying, oh my God, baby, baby, don't you see? I got everything you need.
So I gotta ask about Coachella.
Yeah.
Weekend one, you bring out Billie
Yeah.
with your set. Weekend two, you
Yeah.
bring out Zendaya with your set.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest Coachella flex. And just like knowing this plan where you're just like, I'm gonna own Coachella. It's gonna be my, like, how did that all come together?
I started putting a show together and I was like, if I'm gonna do a show, I just want it to be the sickest thing that I think I've ever seen or haven't seen. And so I just started kind of composing what my set would be. Me and Billie ended up doing the record, Never Felt So Alone. And I was like, do you want to maybe come to Coachella and perform it with me? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, really? She was like, okay. I was like, that's wild. And you know what? Me and Billie really loved the record that we did together. It kind of felt like a natural progression into us performing it and like actually ground testing this record and seeing how the fans really enjoyed it. And it was wild.
The reaction, obviously, like, people went crazy at Coachella.
When I was putting that moment together, I was planning it in my head. And I told my lighting guy, I was like, just keep the lights down and nobody would see that it's Billie for like a long minute. And they would just see me and they'll think, oh, okay, he's just gonna perform it in his own. And then we just had Billie like appear from nowhere and the place erupted into chaos.
So then
Yeah.
the next weekend,
Yeah.
you bring out Zendaya.
Yeah.
How did that one come together?
That is the same thing really, like where I was like, Z, I'm gonna perform at Coachella. I would love to do our songs together. And she was like, I would love to, but I don't have the time. I didn't think she could make it. And then I think last minute something happened that made her have to pass through. And she was like, Lab, I want to do the show. And I was like, really? As soon as she said she wanted to do it, I was like, this is a moment. Like I just knew it straight away. But then when we actually performed it, it was like, oh, right. It was more than what I thought it was gonna be. Like it was insane. We couldn't hear ourselves. That's how loud it was in there.
What I love about seeing both of you guys up there was like, you guys are so multi-talented, where it's like, you guys are working on the song, you're sharing the stage, you've worked for years together on Euphoria,
Yeah.
She's the star of Euphoria,
Yeah.
You're doing the score. Like, when you talk to her about craft and
Yeah.
creativity, like what is that like? Because you guys are now working together on multiple different levels.
Yeah, I think we're all fans of like kind of thinking forward or trying to challenge ourselves. And I think that's what I get from most of the artists I work with, like a lot of the people. We always just pass stories and all of those stories evolve the way I'm thinking about writing myself or how I view my career, you know? So that's kind of really like most of the stuff we end up talking about is just like ideas. I'll play her songs, she'll play me stuff, and we kind of just keep being cheerleaders for each other, you know?
You mentioned challenging yourselves, and that's exactly the vibe I get from Ends and Begins. Like, I hear on every song you pushing yourself, you challenging yourself. Did that feel like part of the foundation for this album, is just like really pushing yourself to the limits of your creativity?
I didn't think on Ends and Begins. The most important thing when you're creating or when you're living life is that you do the most honest version of that, and that is a picture of where I was at the time and how honest I wanted to be at the time. But I feel like there's more. Like, I feel like this is like the tip of the iceberg in terms of what I want to create for an album. But at the same time, I really appreciate this moment that I've created because I really enjoyed it and I wanted to share the joy.
What are things like now? Like in terms of when you're thinking about new ideas, are you thinking about like, oh, this could fit for TV, or oh, this could fit for my album? Like, how does that delineation happen?
Yeah, I've learned a lot, and I share this quite often because I know there's a lot of people that have this experience or have had this experience where, like, I have ADHD and I didn't know I had it. Even through season 1, I didn't know I had ADHD. And before discovering that, it made it very difficult for me to finish anything. Even though I did a lot for the show, it was very intense and very like grueling. I think I've learned the process of taking care of my brain and my mind and mental health so that I can make sure I can deliver the things I want to deliver, and also knowing my capacity as well, you know? So I think that's been the process, is kind of going, okay, how do you achieve the thing you want to achieve, but also how do you make sure you don't become a vegetable by the end of it, you know?
So what's next?
I'm working on more films, doing more TV shows and writing more albums. But I do want to act as well though, at some point. So you might see me doing a little something at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When did you start really considering that?
I've always wanted to act. I really love it, and I think it's an amazing craft. I'm so sorry to all the actors out there that went to school for years on end, and then they see me in a film and they're like, "That's trash, bro." You know, that's the worst thing, that when a guy has done no work at all, and just because he sung a few songs, it's like, "Oh, so you're an actor now, lad." No, I'm excited about it. I have huge respect for it. So I'll only do a little small thing, but I really do want to like mess around in that area.
Lab, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for hanging.
Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.